and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the starting 11 show for the away game at Crystal Palace. Both teams go into this game in really good form, to be honest. Both teams have only lost one in their last 5 games. Ours coming up against Bournemouth in the FA Cup, while Crystal Palace's was a 2-1 loss to Brentford at Selhurst Park. Ironically, Crystal Palace are actually unbeaten away from home in this last 5 games. 2-0 wins against Leicester, West Ham and Man United, while their only loss does actually come at Selhurst Park. While we've been much better at home, but we did pick up that big away win at Brighton. Going into the starting 11 anyway, I think a lot of the injuries are still around. Of course, Decore is suspended for this game after his red card at the end of the Merseyside derby, and of course, as we know, Iliman Ndiaye has suffered a ligament injury. David Moyes confirmed the injury today, confirming that it was a medial knee ligament injury, saying that it's not looking great, not sure how long, certainly a few weeks, which is really disappointing considering Ndiaye's probably being our best player quite comfortably in attack at least this season, and it's going to put big pressure on a new signing who's going to be in the starting 11. But yeah, it's another injury added on to a longer growing list of injuries, so we'll get right into things. In goal is going to be Jordan Pickford. Naturally, of course, it's going to be Jordan Pickford. He's been fantastic. There's been a few slip-ups in the past few weeks, more than a lot of fans probably would have liked, but he's still Jordan Pickford. He's still one of the best goalkeepers in the league. I really feel like there's not much to discuss for this position, to be honest with you. Going into right back, it's Jake O'Brien, someone who has been fantastic since Moyes has come in, playing in that right back role, almost playing like an inverted fullback, moving into centre back, occasionally moving into midfield if he's needed. Those crossfield passes are fantastic, and I think they're going to be needed more than ever, because I feel like we're probably going to take a much more long ball style of a play, unless Alcaraz is good enough with the ball at his feet to play that Ndiaye style role. But yeah, O'Brien's been fantastic, probably in our top 3 best players since Moyes has taken over. And yeah, I think he's going to continue to. I can't see a world where even if anyone was fit, that it would be anyone but O'Brien with how he's been playing right now. And then, of course, the usual suspects at centre back of Tarkowski and Branthwaite. Tarkowski has been suffering a little bit of, I won't say turning against, but a little bit of a feeling like the performances have dipped a little bit from him this season. I really think they have. I think he's been much better. This has probably been his worst season for us so far, quite comfortably as well, to be honest with you. But of course, he made all up for it last game, scoring that amazing goal to claw us that draw in the Merseyside derby with the last kick of the game. And yeah, so I think he's the leader of the team. So he's not going to be anyone else. And Jared Branthwaite, what can you say? One of the best centre-backs in the Premier League, in my opinion. And yeah, had a few moments recently with his travelling out from the back and then losing the ball and being out of position, mainly in the Bournemouth game. But I think he's still a fantastic centre-back, and I still think there's no way on earth we'd ever swap that out. I don't see a world where the only change I could have seen if Tarkowski didn't get that goal would be Branthwaite and O'Brien with Young at right back. But again, I don't see why change what's working clearly. We've only lost 1 game since Moyes has taken over, and that's the Villa game. Sorry, we've lost 2 games. We've only lost 1 league game since Moyes has taken over, and that's the Villa game where we arguably should have won. So I just think it'd be pointless making changes that are really unnecessary to be made, to be honest. And then at left back, of course, Vitaly Mykolenko, who's another one who's looked revitalised under Moyes. His crossing's been so much better. The overlapping's there. I don't think he's going to be very happy playing with the one who's more than likely going to be playing left wing, especially with how many times he seemed to just ignore the overlaps from Mykolenko last game and just not give him the ball. But yeah, Mykolenko's been really good, defensively been solid, attacking being much better than what a lot of fans have expected from him. So yeah, I just see it being them. I think with this team, it's very obvious what the starting 11 is going to be, so it's hard to really go into detail about it besides mentioning the performances. But yeah, and then the 2 defensive midfielders, James Garner and Idrissa Gueye. No surprise really. Garner's been pretty good since he came back. I think he's impressed. I think especially in the Leicester game, the Liverpool game, less so, but I still think he was pretty good. And yeah, we don't really have many other options. Irobenham possibly, but I feel like Moyes is keeping Irobenham as that energy off the bench. I did think he had a really good cameo against Liverpool. I think he was really good in the few minutes that he did get, so it wouldn't surprise me if he may come on a little bit earlier this game. And Idrissa Gueye, fantastic, probably one of our best players this season overall under both managers. Had his moments in the Liverpool game where it did look like he was probably going to get sent off because he kept diving into tackles, but that's the passion you like to see in a derby, and it was a very fiery game, so it doesn't really surprise me. But yeah, Gay's been fantastic, and I think we're going to need both Gay and Garner to be on the top game to stop Eze and Sarr, to be honest with you, because Crystal Palace's attack can be really dangerous if Sarr and Eze can both get going, and then even players like Munoz on the right overlapping, and Mitchell, of course, Adam Wharton's a good creator, and even Mateta can score the goals when he's given the opportunity. So I think the entire back line and the defensive midfielders are going to have to be on tip-top form, because I think this is a really dangerous Crystal Palace team that are in fantastic form. And yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're going to give us a real challenge defensively. And I think the entire six of the defensive unit, Garner gets forward a little bit more, so I'd say it's more 5, but I think they all need to be ready and locked in. And yeah, and just ready for what's probably going to be a difficult game, to be honest with you. Then the 3 behind the striker, I think this is pretty obvious too. No Decore, no Ndai, no McNeil. We don't really have many options really, so I think it's going to be Lindstrom on the right. I think Lindstrom's been really good. Another one under Moyes who's been revitalised, I think, but he's going to have to take a big step up this game. I think he's probably going to have to be the team's primary creator unless Alcaraz can really step up. Surprised I have Alcaraz in the 10. But yeah, I think Lindstrom's really going to have to step up and be that key creator for the team and show that he can really be a step out and stand out performer with Iliman Ndai out, because I just don't think we can rely on Jack Harrison, who I've got on the left, too much, because I just don't have much faith in Jack Harrison, to be honest with you. It's not impossible for Moyes to revitalise him a little bit and get some form out of him, but I'm not a fan of Jack Harrison at all. I've made it very clear most times I'm on this channel that I don't think he's good enough to play for the club, but we're going to have to put our faith in him in these next few weeks, because hopefully McNeil can come back sooner rather than later, which means we can, get him back into the team. It does say on FootMob here that he's expected back in late February. That's still another 2 weeks at least with Harrison in the starting lineup. So yeah, Lindstrom's really going to have to step up his game. Alcaraz, it's going to be an interesting one. This is going to be his first start. I don't really know what much to say for him in the Liverpool game. I don't really think he stood out much, to be honest with you. But it's one of those where now he's going to get given that chance to show that creative ability, to show that ability in the 10 of why teams like Juventus wanted him, and why Southampton originally wanted him as well. So it's an interesting one. I don't really have much on him because I don't know much about him. We did go in big detail on the transfer deadline day video when I did some real research into him, and he looked a really good player. The creative numbers looked good. Hopefully those can translate over to us, because I feel like this team has been quite good at creating chances. I feel like the overlaps from the wings have been quite good under Moyes, so I think he's going to have the chance to create. I feel like we are going to create chances against this Palace side, even though they've been very good defensively ever since this resurgence form, of course, keeping a lot of clean sheets away from home with that back three. So it's going to be a challenge. They've got a lot of pace at the back. Gay, Lacroix especially, those who play FIFA know Lacroix is an extremely fast centre back, and that's not just a FIFA thing. You've seen it this season. He's absolutely rapid. And Richards too. Richards isn't exactly a slow centre back either. So they've got 3 really athletic centre backs. They've got 2 full backs who are very adequate in defending as well. In Munoz especially is a very good defender, and Mitchell, who's very good 1-on-1. So it's one of those where the attack's gonna have to do something, and I don't really have much hope in it, to be honest with you, which is weird because we have been so good under Moyes, and it feels like everyone's stepped the game up a little bit under Moyes, but it's still one of those where it's a really nervy one. But of course, up front, it's going to be Beto. 3 goals in his last 2 Premier League games for the club. Fantastic again against Liverpool. Amazing against Leicester. And yeah, we're really going to need his runs to really draw in space for other players. It's probably going to be Lacroix on him most of the game just because of how fast he is. But we know Beto makes the game physical. We know Beto really likes to make that one-on-one with the defender. You saw him giving real problems to Canate, real problems to even Van Dijk at points. So it won't surprise me if it's Gay on him either. They're probably going to want to put their best centre back on Beto with what good form he is. But I do think he'll squeak a goal this game. I will say that. But yeah, and then the bench is just not really looking good with all the names out. Still not Chamiti, not expected till late February. Same with Broya. So it's one of those where it's going to be a really difficult game. There's not going to be really any options on the bench, to be honest with you. So this is one where I feel like the starting 11 that I've mentioned are really going to have to be at the best, because it's not the end of the world if we lose it. But of course, a win against Crystal Palace could push us up to as high as 12th in the league, where they are currently sat on 30 points. We're also currently sat on 30 points. Both Tottenham and Man United play each other, actually. So the ideal scenario, we beat Crystal Palace and those 2 teams draw. that would actually put us all the way up to 12th place in the league. When we did look like a point we were in relegation fight, it would also put us possibly 13 points away from relegation, which would, even now I'm confident that would just be the nail in the coffin for any chance of us getting relegated, to be honest with you. But that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed, and follow me on Twitter at Callum3. Let me know what you think of the lineup, and if you think David Moyes may make any surprise changes that a lot of us don't expect. And I'll see you all for the next video and our live stream that I am on. Goodbye, everyone.